Hi there, everyone. Welcome to episode 333 of the Mike from Maine show, the place where we do daily interviews with successful online entrepreneurs. This is your host, Mike Thomas, and today on the show, we have Nishant on, who's currently doing $100,000 a month selling t-shirts on Facebook. Of course, it varies. He does some months he does a little more, some months he does a little less, but he's been doing this since he got started around October, after he took a course on Facebook ads, and he's going to explain all about how he got into it today, what's working for him, some of the tips and tricks of how he's been able to sell these shirts on Facebook, some of the niches that he's in, all these little things as I pick his brain because I'm really interested in how he's doing this. I mean, 100,000, that's pretty awesome. You'll see on the screen here, there's a video where he actually takes us in and shows us the results from his account so that we have the proof of all this money that he's made. And I even asked him in the interview how much he made yesterday. So stay tuned for all that. One thing I'll tell you before you start watching is that his product T-Cash Kit, where he explains all about this, is going to be launching tomorrow on February 26th at 11 a.m. Eastern. But if you come back here an hour earlier at 10 a.m. Eastern, you're going to be able to get $10 off the initial price. So between 10 a.m. Eastern and 11 a.m. Eastern, there's going to be that $10 discount. So you're in the know on that. Let's get into it. Here's Nishant. We are here today with Nishant Bhardwaj. Nishant, welcome.
Thank you, Mike. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you here today. Let's jump right into it and bring us through your story and how you got up to today and in your t-shirts.
Sure, no problem. Yeah, well, I'll give you a little bit of background about myself and where I come from, what I do. I had a pretty decent job in corporate America, so to speak, but I just got tired of it. I just didn't feel at peace with that whole culture, and one day I decided it was enough, and I quit my job. I called my wife before I did that, obviously. And I quit my job, packed my bags, and moved back to Missouri. And from there on, at that time, I had already started dabbling a little bit into online marketing. Just started a couple websites, but never really thought that I'll be selling T-shirts for a living. And after I stumbled upon Teespring, going through the FB Ads Guide program, I knew that this is something that I could really make it work because I was always been good at traffic. And once I figured out how the whole system works, I just scaled it up, and I'm here.
And for those listening, most of you probably know, but Teespring it's an affiliate program where people can design their own T-shirts and sell them for an affiliate commission. All you have to do is send the sales, and they'll actually deliver the product for you. And you also mentioned FB Ads Crack. That was a product by Don Wilson that I interviewed him about for that. I think it was late last year, if I recall correctly. It was a very popular product about Facebook marketing. So okay, so you went and you took that course, and you hadn't been selling T-shirts before. Is that correct?
No. I started selling T-shirts late October.
Okay, so you started selling T-shirts. Tell us a little bit about your beginning with selling T-shirts on Facebook. I believe that's where your traffic source is.
Yes, that's correct. That's my traffic source. So I started in late October, around the same time when the World Series was going on, and because I had gone through some of the trainings on Teespring at that time, I realized that this could be a good time to start selling and see how the market responds. And I built up a couple fan pages, ran some free traffic, ran some paid traffic from my fan pages, and it started to do okay for me. I was still trying to figure the whole system out, and it took me about I would say 3 months of trial and error to kind of like get to the the position where I'm at right now, where I totally nailed it down, and I dialed in the exact audiences that we need to target, the exact ads that we need to run, exact traffic sources within Facebook, because Facebook has almost like 500 million people on it, and you really have to reach out to the most targeted people. So it took me a couple months to figure everything out, just spend a bunch of money on it. But now now that we know what exactly works, we're able to pretty much go into any niche and completely dominate it.
Tell me about the first campaign that you did, and I want to know if it was successful, or if it was a failure.
Yeah, the very first one we ran was actually a failure. It did not work out very well. I think we sold like three T-shirts, and I had a huge goal of like 250. Which now that I look back at it, I laugh about it. Me and my friends. But the first campaign was a failure. The second one, we barely made our money back. We spent a ton of money, and we made a little bit. And then from third onwards, we started to realize what we were doing wrong, and we started following some other people, some good advice from some other friends. And the third one, we actually made, I think, about $1,000. And then the one after that, we just dived right in, and I think we made like about $5,000.
And how much did you make last month from Teespring?
Well, I actually just did some calculations with my accountant. We were going over some numbers this morning, and the earnings for last month were $118,400.
180,000.
18,000.
18.
118. Yes.
And how much of that was profit?
The profit, I would say, was over $96,000 just on that. But we also have a couple other affiliate accounts where I'm a JV with some other marketers, and if you aggregate everything, my income from those other JV accounts, probably somewhere close to 125.
What's your secret? Bring us into it a little bit. What are you doing? For the people listening out there? I mean, this sounds great and all, but
yeah.
I think a lot of them, there's a lot of difficult things involved here that I think are going to scare people. Like, okay, I got to learn how to do Facebook marketing. Some people maybe have dabbled a little bit or haven't even ever done a campaign. Then you got to figure out how to do T-shirts and how to sell that. How can you kind of dumb it down a little bit for us?
Sure thing, no problem. Well, most of it comes down to, and I know it's going to sound like a cliche, but most of it comes down to the focus, because most of the people, they kind of want it, but they don't really want it. And I think that's what separated me from a lot of other people. I really wanted to make it work because I knew some of the other people that I started out with, they were making it work, and I knew that if they can do it, I can do it too. So I really just put my head to it and started like learning about everything I can about the market, how to do market research, how to what type of ads do work, what days to post the ads, all these small little things matter a lot, because end of the day, it's like any other CPA program. You have your traffic and you have to convert it, and so I learned all I can. But if I have to say one thing that really changed the way I started doing Teespring, was my outlook on design. Because before that, I was trying to cut corners on design because I wanted to launch fast, and I was just making designs that were not necessarily resonating with my crowd. But after I learned that, after I changed my mindset on design, things started to improve a lot for me. So I would say definitely design it plays a key role, and then obviously your targeting, and targeting plus design, if you get it right, yeah, you're going to be you'll do very, very well on Teespring.
You mentioned that you feel like you can dominate in any niche now. There must be
Yes.
some niches that are better for you than others. Are there ones that, like, let's say someone's just starting out, are there some that are going to be a little bit maybe easier to have success in than others?
Yeah, see, a lot of the times, this is what I tell people: look around you, see the things around you, and then approach it that way. Because a lot of the people, they try to ignore the things very close to them, and they just try to shoot too far and don't necessarily get the right audience or the right market. Because if you're a firefighter, for instance, you possibly know a lot more about the firefighters, and how they act, how they behave, how they think, than any other marketer, than any normal person. So for you to be able to come up with a T-shirt about firefighters, maybe it's an inside joke in the community, maybe it's something of pride that these people share. So look around you and see what people take pride in, especially in your community, or in any particular thing you're associated with. So if you're a volunteer, paramedic, maybe something that appeals to them. So look around you. That's the first and easiest way to get started. Because I have a cousin who's a paramedic, and we did some stuff with him, and he came up with this very cool idea. We sold a few shirts on him, so it was very easy to get him started, because he didn't really have to shoot too far. He already was in that market. And the second thing, if let's say if you do not have any such thing to go by with, I would say there's some pretty standard campaigns in sports that work really well. Uh, and then other than the sports, there's other niches like nursing. There's people, that's an evergreen niche. People always can sell t-shirts to nurses. For some reason, nurses buy a lot of t-shirts. So these two niches, I would say they work really well. They're evergreen. You can sell t-shirts to these two niches all year long. And then obviously something that you're really close to. So if you're a policeman, something like a policeman t-shirt would work really well.
Are you able to share with us any of some of the success stories maybe that you've done? I know that a lot of people don't want to share their exact niches, but as far as you can share with us something that you've done that maybe a niche that you were able to make a lot of money in, or as much as you feel comfortable sharing, I'd love to hear about that.
Sure. I've done a few things in baseball. I mean, that's one of the niches that I operate in. So baseball is definitely one thing I did, and I ran some very unique designs for Cardinals, and that's actually my team. Shout out to Cardinals. But that's one thing that I've always focused on. So if you really are passionate about something, if you really like something, you're gonna do well with it. So I ran some Cardinals campaigns. It's easy to sell. People buy sports merchandise all year long. So it's not something that's going to be too hard for people that are just starting out.
I can already hear people in the audience saying, "But wait a minute, Cardinals, isn't that copyrighted? How do you deal with issues of copyright and copyright infringement? Does it come into play?" Because I remember when I used to make AdSense websites, and I would buy copyrighted domains, and it would only very, very small percentage of the time would I have problems with it. How do you deal with that?
Well, and that's a great question, because I'm glad that you asked it. I tell every single person that I consult or help out, stay as far away from copyrights as you can, because they can land you in some serious trouble. So what you really have to do is think of something clever, think of something that's not infringing upon the copyright. So if you're doing something with the Cardinals, maybe you can think of some clever quote that goes with the team, or something like a Redbirds rock, or things like that. So because in that case you're not infringing upon the copyright of the team, but at the same time you're also connecting with the fans. So connect with the fans, and go to forums, go to blogs, read what people are talking about. If there is an inside joke with the team, put it on the t-shirt. There is a very good chance that you might sell it. Another great resource would be Reddit, and I'm not sure if the audience members are very familiar with it, but Reddit is a great source to go and get some really cool ideas about t-shirts. So if you're doing anything with any of the major league sports, please make sure you do not touch it with a 10-foot pole. Make sure you stay away from the from the copyright material. Make sure you do not do anything with the logos or the team names. And I mean, if you go to some of these research websites, you will see a lot of really clever campaigns that appeal to the same audience, but at the same time they're very, very clean campaigns, so to speak, so they don't infringe upon the copyright. So there is one particular example I'd like to tell you.
Sure.
this particular campaign that's called "This Team Makes Me Drink," and essentially it's a campaign targeted towards the teams that haven't had much success in recent years. So the Browns, for instance, there is this particular T-shirt that has a beer mug, and it's in orange color. So people kind of get the idea that maybe it's about Browns, but maybe it's not. But it's obviously not saying anything about the Browns or anything. But since it's targeted towards the Browns fans, they get it, and they buy those T-shirts by boatloads. So just keeping up with with what's happening in the market, keeping up with the trends, and then putting your own spin on it is actually a really good strategy.
Let's keep that Cardinals going on here, and when, let's say you came up with a great idea and you had it, and you maybe there was a this team makes me drink, and you had your team, whatever. How do you go about targeting? What are you doing to target them? Are you just doing like teams that like the Cardinals, or just like, how does that work?
There's a little more than that. What happens is when you go inside, and Facebook's constantly changing things, and that's the thing. But what you do is one of the things is if you go inside the Facebook Ads Manager, it has a ton of options that are out there for targeting, and we actually show every single thing we do, with our campaigns inside the product. But one good example would be to go ahead and target the fan groups on Facebook from inside the Ads Manager, and we actually show you how to do that.
Nishant, have I frozen up for you also?
No, you're fine.
Oh, weird. Can you stop your video and start it again?
Yeah, sure. Okay, the video is turned off now.
Sure.
Okay, you want me to turn it on now?
I can't see your video. Did you turn it back on?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I think it's coming.
Okay, great.
Here we go. We're good. Okay. So, as far as targeting your audience goes, and I know a lot of people use things like in the Open Graph search and using custom audiences. Are there any specific tools that you recommend?
There's a bunch of tools on the market. There's different scraping softwares that people use for custom audiences. I would say FB Lead Checker is one of the softwares that we are actually partnered up with. The audiences, anybody who buys the OTO with the product, they actually get that free, as part of the OTO. Mm-hmm. There's a few other softwares in the market that do the exact same thing that FB Lead Checker does. It just depends upon how much you're willing to pay. But end of the day, they all do the same thing. It really doesn't matter which one you get.
Yeah, I mean, the important part is that you are targeting the correct audience. It just makes sense if you were gonna do an advertisement for the Red Sox and you were targeting people that were living in New York. Of course, no one's gonna buy the T-shirt, and your advertising revenue is gonna go down the drain. If you can target it that much better and be able to target maybe people that are living in Boston that have liked the Red Sox and also liked some of the players, and maybe also been to the stadium, like all these different things, you can get those super fans and then be able to target them and really get your bang for your buck.
That is a great point, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that is one of the ways we target. We show people how to target based upon the people who've checked into the stadiums, who've checked into the bars close to the stadium, because let's face it, after a lot of people watch games, they go out and after party at the bars. So those fans are actually even more engaged, because they're not only spending money buying tickets, they're also spending money on other activities after the game. So those are the type of people you want to go after. And coming back to your point about people in New York, that's actually not always correct, because what we also do is we also do these clever T-shirts that focus on people who are expats. So if somebody's from Boston but living in California, we teach them how to sell T-shirts to those people, and that's actually a very popular model of selling T-shirts, to selling people that live in other states. And we've actually done really well with those type of T-shirts also.
Cool. I'm glad you mentioned that. Cool. Okay. Well, let's jump into it. And of course, you've had success with this, and you are obviously a person that is worth listening to, especially if you've made
Thank you.
over $100,000 in 1 month from it. And I've seen your income reports. I've seen you open up and go through your account. So these are verified claims. Tell us about the course, T-Cash Kit.
Well, a T-Cash kit is pretty much everything you would need to be able to get started and then do some more with Teespring. We essentially give you the templates for some of the most popular designs that you can take and customize it to any team, any niche you want. Then we also give you some other templates that allow you to pretty much come up with really cool designs for other niches outside of the sports. And we have a complete library of training on how to customize those designs, how to edit, how to change colors, pretty much everything you would need to be able to do those designs by yourself. Now, if you're someone who doesn't have the time, or if you still don't want to do the designs yourself, we also connect you with the designers. We show you some of the best marketplaces where you can actually go and get the designs done for yourself, and we actually walk you through the process of how we do it, so that you could follow the same process and not having to make your own mistakes, so to speak. Now, after the design part, we also give you complete training on Facebook ads traffic. How to drive traffic to your listings, because let's face it, if you don't have traffic, you could have the best T-shirt in the world, but it would not sell. So we teach you how to drive traffic, and then we teach you how to drive very targeted traffic, because that's what's most important. You could drive a ton of traffic, but if it's not targeted, it's not going to convert. So we teach you the design process, we teach you how to drive traffic, and we teach you how to target really, really well.
Have you taught anyone before your methods and they've come back and said it had results with it?
Yes. Actually, I've had some people that consulted on a personal coaching basis, which pretty much has the similar material as to what's being presented in this course, and that's one of the reasons I made this course, was because I did not have enough time to individually help each and every person. I really wanted to help as many people as I can. So we decided to put that in a video format, in a course format, to just help out as many people as you can. So I've had some really amazing successes with people. I have students from Singapore, I have students from Australia, I have students from India, and pretty much everyone that I've worked with, they've had decent success.
Anyone making $100,000 a month?
Not yet.
Yeah, that would be the day. Anyone making $1,000 a month? Anyone doing?
Oh yeah, yes. My very first student, in the very first week, he actually made $1,400 in the very first week. So yeah, I mean, once you really dial it in, it's not that difficult, and to make money with Teespring. And the best part is that the Facebook traffic is so cheap right now. Even if you're not, converting very, very well to the level that you really want to, you would still end up being a winner, because the margins are so high.
When you go about testing a T-shirt in an
Yes.
audience, how much money do you usually spend before you pull the plug on an ad and say, okay, this doesn't work? Do you spend $100? Do you spend, or a certain amount of clicks? How does that work?
I look at two things. I look at the number of clicks on it, and obviously, if the clicks are too expensive, and I'm still getting some sales, it still is not helping me because the clicks are too expensive. And if I'm getting the cheap clicks and I'm not getting any sales, and in that case, it doesn't help me either. So $20 is my average, where if I see that, okay, I haven't got much traction or many sales for $20, yeah, I usually pull the plug, because it's always better to cut your losses and move on to something else than to just try to make something work and put so much energy and money into something that looks like a loser from the beginning.
Do you need to spend a lot of money on building up a fan page in order to be making money with T-shirts, or can you do it without a big fan page?
No, you can do it without a big fan page completely if you just want to run the Facebook PPC traffic. If you want to run the fan page traffic, that's great too. That's how I got started, and that's not going to take a lot of money if you can get really cheap likes, which most of the times you can get likes in the range of half a penny to like 2 pennies or 3 pennies. And as long as the return on your investment is there, you're going to be good. Because I ran some numbers on one of my fan pages, and I spent half a penny on each like, and I had 38,000 likes on that page, and my net profit per like on that page was 38 cents. So I pretty much, for every dollar that I spent on that page, I made $76 back. So
Perfect. I'll spend that all day long.
exactly, and that's what we teach people. Just the mindset. A lot of the people, the real problem is that they're not willing to spend money, but they want to make money, and that doesn't always work out very well. There's a saying where I come from. They say scared money never makes money. So if you're not willing to take a chance, and I'm not asking for a whole lot, maybe $20, $10 in ad spend, and that should give you enough idea of how to go about this market.
And I think it's true in anything. If you go in and you throw a ton of money at something, especially your first time doing it, the likelihood that you're going to have success that first time is not very high. And you need to use those smaller ad spends, whether it's Facebook advertising or solo ads or AdWords traffic. You need to kind of ease your way in, learn a little bit about what's working, and once you find something that works, then you can up your ad budget. But I like your advice about having it lower amounts, test it out, and just kind of dip your toes in before jumping.
Yeah, and we still do it to the same day, because this is one month that we've always stuck to. I mean, even though we could afford, to spend a little bit more money on testing, we still stay, with our $20 ad limit, because we know that if it's not working out with $25, it's probably not going to work out with $100. So why waste our money?
Okay, so the front end course is going to have the training, it's going to have the templates, and the case studies also included in
Yes, it has a couple case studies that come with it. And you get to see over our shoulder exactly how we ran those campaigns, of everything from the targeting till the the numbers, how we scaled it up, and everything. We pretty much laid out in the open.
And the one-time offers, we kind of touched on it before, but what are the one-time offers people should expect?
Okay, in the one-time offer, we actually offer a lot of our really premium content. We offer 4 case studies, mega case studies where we made a lot of money. So we give you access to every single thing we did on those campaigns. Everything from how we researched that niche, how we went about targeting, how we scaled up the campaign, how long we ran it for, what was the frequency of the campaign, what was the ad type, why something was done on that campaign. So we break it down into very actionable steps, on all 4 of those case studies. Then we also give you access to FB Lead Jacker software, which is the graph search software. The best part about that is the training that comes with it, because you could get softwares for really cheap these days, but it's the training that matters, and our training is very customized to Teespring offers. So once you go through that training, you'll be able to think a lot more clearly and creatively about Teespring, and that's what we pride ourselves upon. Now we also give you access to some of our best performing ad templates. Most of our ads outperform our competitors' ads like easily, because our ads usually get anywhere from 10 to 15% click-through rates. Most other gurus, so to speak, they would tell you that if you get 2% CTR or 3% CTR on a newsfeed ad, it's great, which is fine. But the way we set up our ads, the kind of templates we use for our ads, we usually smash it with those. So we give people the access to the exact same templates for the ads that we're using, and then we also give them the copy for the ads and the copy for the actual Teespring sales page, because that's something that can make a huge difference to your CTR. If you have a really good ad copy, if you have a good call to action, it can really enhance your CTRs. So we give you access to all of those that we have used in our ads, and that we still use to this date.
And Nishant, how much money did you make yesterday from Teespring? Do you remember off the top of your head?
Yeah, about $2,200. Yesterday was a slow day.
I feel so bad for you. $2,200. Nishant, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Is there anything that we didn't touch on, anything that you wanted to mention before we wrap it up?
No, I just wanted to, tell everyone one thing. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm not from here. I just moved. I'm just an immigrant here, and if I can do it, you can do it too. All it takes is, willingness to take action and the mindset. And once you start really focusing on it, I think you're going to do really well.
Nishant, thanks again.
You're welcome. Take care, Mike.
I hope you enjoyed the interview today with Nishant. If you want to check out his T-Cash Kit course where he teaches all about how he's making money selling t-shirts on Facebook, come back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, February 26th. Between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. you'll be able to get a full $10 off the cover price on T-Cash Kit, along with my bonuses. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.